let's talk about LAN, MAN, and WAN. So the first thing I want to just hit is the idea of the local area network. We all deal with local area networks. We're all probably somewhat used to them, but I think it should be called out. So think of the LAN as something that's contained within a single building. Typically, members of a local area network are not more than 100 meters from their networking device. This has a lot to do with the physical qualities of the connectivity, like the signaling, the voltage, speed, and quality over the particular medium, whether it's air or more typically copper. So you could think of a LAN as a group of devices interconnected across connections that an organization maintains within 100 meters of the network device, like a switch. LANs stop typically when you use connections going outside of the particular building or outside of network. Typically, each local area network will be its own subnet, and then a building might have multiple local area networks, okay? So again, with 100 meters of the network device, and it's going to be maintained by personnel on site. The next phase of this conversation has to do with the thing called the MAN, right? The Metropolitan Area Network. Now, a metropolitan area network, as the name suggests, would be within a city area, right? So within a metropolitan area, a city or a suburb. What we're showing you here is the burgeoning metropolis of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And so there might be in a particular company downtown office and an office on a particular street, whether it's a block away or 5 blocks away, and the main street office. For example, this would be a good example of a bank. So if you had a bank that resided, its headquarters resided within a city, there may be multiple offices of that bank located around that city and connected via their carrier via a metropolitan area network. Okay, so the connecting points would be typically more than 100 meters apart, making it not a LAN. And each one of those locations would contain probably their own local area network. So LANs are contained in the sites, and then the sites are connected within a metropolitan area via a MAN. Okay? Now, of course, there could also be this thing called a CAN, right, which is similar, and that would be a campus area network. And it's still a matter of just trying to visualize your own network and how it's connected. So in this case, you've got a carrier who's interconnecting all of these sites within the city, probably using something like, in the old days, they might have used something like FDDI. So then we get finally to the actual WAN. And you'll see that we have different cities: Kalamazoo, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana. So these are much greater distances than just in town. So a WAN, wide area network, is the thing we use to span large distances. If you're thinking to yourself that these things are relatively close, like Kalamazoo, Columbus, and Indianapolis are all what you might call the Midwest, that is not the limitation. So for example, if one of these sites was in Los Angeles, he would still be a wide area network connected site. If Kalamazoo was somehow connected to via satellite to an office in Johannesburg, South Africa, still a wide area network. So wide area network is like the widest thing, the thing that spans the most distance. It may incorporate multiple carriers. For example, about 30 miles from Kalamazoo, Michigan is Battle Creek, Michigan. Battle Creek's connection to Kalamazoo may use the same carrier that was existent in the metropolitan area network we talked about, but it's far enough away, and they would use something other than something like the FIDI ring. So it would still be a local carrier, but it would still be a long enough distance that would be considered wide area networking. So you could be using local carriers and then multiple long distance carriers as well to get you, as I said, from Kalamazoo to Columbus or Kalamazoo to Los Angeles, or Indianapolis to Johannesburg, or something like that. So you could use multiple different carriers, and probably would, to create a wide area network. Not all carriers span all countries. And when it comes to technologies, the different carriers you use may use different technologies. You may have a particular type of connection from your, shall we say, headquarters. You may have a particular type of connection to one carrier and a different type of connection to another carrier. Multiple technologies to multiple carriers, and even the carriers themselves may transport data over multiple technologies within themselves.